Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys with your host, Captain Gaige.
What is up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Greatly appreciate you guys and the listeners out there. You guys are awesome. And the comments, the YouTube, all that stuff, guys, we're building it up organically. It's working, and I thank you for it. Thank you so much. So these episodes, I'm going to try to keep them as current as I can with current events. And in the wintertime, we'll get, when I'm in the studio, I'm trying to do as many of these as I can from location, being here on the boat or in a marina. And yesterday it was raining. Friday I put out a video on Facebook and all the groups showing the action that we had on Friday. And in that video I did say that we'd be putting out a podcast yesterday on the 28th. And it rained all day. And I was sitting there in the office waiting for a window of opportunity. Just give me 20 minutes, a half an hour of no rain. I would have been down here, dried the boat off, and recorded an episode. But unfortunately, the rain, at least the drizzle, was relentless yesterday. So speaking of weather, we really can't complain. And yet I say that we really can complain, but nothing like our people down south. So my heart goes out to everybody that had to deal with Hurricane Helene and the damaging winds that just came, built up. I mean, that thing was a regular storm coming out of in between Cuba and Central America, and as it came up north, I mean, it just built up and ramped up and ramped up. I mean, to a Category 4 storm before hitting landfall was just, I mean, that's just unbelievable. The strength of that storm is. So they're going to be dealing with that for a while down there, so my heart goes out to them. I do have relatives down there. They're a little further inland. So, you know, I was hearing when the power outages were going on and what was happening, and when the power was back up, and everybody's okay, and I'm very grateful for that. However, people around the world and people listening in that, you know, want to help out, there's always something you can do to help out. In this case, the International Game Fish Association has sponsored a fundraising, so if you guys want to donate to everybody down south and help them out, it's the igfa.org/WARF. And the WARF is the World Angler Relief Fund. So if you want to do anything to help out down south, make your donations there. And let's do everything we can to help these people rebuild. Because you think about the fishermen and the charters and the shops and the houses and everything down there. I mean, they're going to be out of work for a while. So anything we could do to help, I think it'll count, and I'm sure it'll go a long way. So I'm just going to pass that information on to you guys because that was some serious hurricane that hit Florida, and now it's going to Georgia, and the winds just, I've never seen anything like it. The damage and the water damage that has been done is just incredible. So hopefully they rebuild and get back. We're very resilient as Americans, and it's very unfortunate when storms like that do decimate certain areas, and the coastline really gets the brunt of it. And again, our hearts go out to them. So weather in our area, it hasn't been so great here either. I mean, we're going on 3 weeks of a relentless northeast wind out of the east-northeast, out of the east. I mean, it's just, and the phrase, you know, wind out of the east is least, but it holds true. You get out there and the wind against tide is just ridiculous. And even Friday, you know, Friday morning we shot out there. And guys, you have your opportunity. You have your windows to get out. Like right now, it's blowing 8, gusting to 14. Yesterday, one of the buoys just west of us was showing gusts of 30 miles an hour in the middle of the sound, you know, out of the east. So 30-mile-an-hour winds out of the east, you're going to have some really rough conditions out there. And, you know, there's a reason you stay tied to the dock and don't take your boat out. But the weather has been such an issue for people that you got to pick your windows to get out there. Friday, we had plans to fish all day. We had a cancellation. And me and my first mate, Corey, we're still going to go. We're going to go. We're going to fish the back bays. We're going to fish areas that we can fish until it lays down. We got out into the sound early in the morning, and it was rough out there. There were 3-footers. You can see it in the video on Friday. You know, again, I could probably show you these videos within the video here in the podcast, but I'm going to let you go reference the videos on our social media and check them out there. This way I can stay consistent with the editing for the podcast, and I don't have to start putting in B-roll and all that fun stuff. But we got out there Friday morning. It was rough out there. And we were like, all right, we're not going to continue looking from the birds were everywhere. I mean, the birds were working. We weren't seeing as many tails splashing out of the water, but the birds were definitely feeding on bait, and the fish were definitely there. So we knew we were going to get out there in our window, and we waited. We waited for the window of opportunity, and sure enough, it paid off. It came, and we like venturing out of our area. So if it's just me and my mate, we're not going to fish our normal area. We're going to go east. We're going to go west. We're going to go north. We run in all different directions. In fact, we started out south. So we started out in our area in the back bays. And, we managed to find fish. And it's always fun when you throw in light tackle and plugs and all that fun stuff. So we did that. And mid-afternoon, it laid down out there. There was a time where there was no wind. It was unbelievable. So the wind actually took a break, and there were a ton of boats. There were a ton of boats in one area, and the birds were working. It was awesome. We did a little bit of running and gunning, which is always fun this time of the year. And again, anybody that does that, you got to be careful. I will not knock anybody down on the boat, so we do have verbal commands to let them know that we're going to come up on plane and we're going to put it in neutral because it's like hitting the brakes. I mean, you really can knock people down. So you got to know what you're doing out there and be careful during that. You don't want anybody getting hurt while you're fishing. So we were running and gunning, but they were stacked up. My sonar, the boat next to me, he's like, my sonar's like a Christmas tree. And I'm like, yeah, it's unbelievable. I was telling boats to come close to me. I'm like, I had friends out there. So when we're all communicating, every boat around me had a rod bent in half. And when that's happening, it's a ton of fun. It's just, it's like Christmas morning for a kid. So you could put down almost anything and hook up with a fish. And when it's like that, you're trying different lures. So we were putting down slow pitch jigs. We were trying all kinds of different stuff we normally wouldn't put down just because the bite was just so ridiculous. It was just a ton of fun. And it turns out it was, big blues. There were blues 28 inches, big fat ones. There were some gators in there. And it was nonstop action for hours. So we had a ton of fun doing that. And that's where you reap the reward of the no guts, no glory attitude to get out there and take a chance. But I don't say take a chance with other people's lives and be dangerous. I'm saying take a chance and get out there and wait for your break in the wind and the tide. And the conditions do change. I mean, I see the conditions change just from being out there all day. So we'll spend 8-9 hours out there and you see the conditions go from gnarly to flat calm to, the currents ripping, the wind's blowing, or vice versa. There's no wind and the current's ripping. So it's always changing up. And that's what, that's what I'm drawn to. That's where the passion is right there. So being out there in the harsher conditions, to me, that's what makes you a better captain. I think learning what the conditions do. In the other morning, I think Sunday morning, I had a charter going out. And early morning, at the local coffee shop, and another captain walks in, and he's like, where do you think you're going? And I'm like, I got a charter. I knew he was running his charter, and he was like, well, how far you think you're going to get? And I'm like, well, I'm going to get out into the bay. I'm going to poke out into the sound. I'm going to take a look. And that's the no guts, no glory attitude. But safety first. You know what I mean? I'm on the center console, so I'm not getting people wet and soaked and running, crazy out into these bad conditions. We take our time. We get out there. We see if we can fish in them. And a lot of times we can. We got out there. I was halfway to Connecticut on a day that other captains were saying, you ain't going to get halfway across the bay. And, eventually we came back in because it was just a smart choice. You have to make a smart choice. If the fish aren't chewing and you don't see anything happening, you're going to go find the fish. And we moved in. We found them inshore. And we wound up having an amazing day and fishing in the bay. And it was awesome. So sometimes you could turn a bad day into a good day just by making smart decisions out there. So stuff like that, That's what I like, making decisions and being the captain. Captain's orders. No, I'm just kidding. So as far as current events are concerned, we have a couple of big things happening here on the island. You got the Tow Bay Boat Show. Even though it's on the South Shore, it doesn't matter where it is. It's a boat show. It's here on Long Island. We go to Manhattan for the, Javits Center. We go to the boat show in the wintertime. We shoot across to Connecticut to the boat show in Norwalk. So We got the Tow Bay Boat Show. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. There is admission, guys, so you do have to pay. You do have to get a ticket to get in. I think it's $15 for adults and $5 for kids. I think from 5 to 12 years old, under 5 is free. And there are going to be a lot of activities, so if you're into boats or you're looking to purchase a boat or get into something new or check out the new engines and new technology, there's all kinds of fun stuff to do for the kids there with face painting and activities. And speaking of face painting and activities, this weekend also is a event that I'm very much involved in, and it's called Comac Day. In fact, anybody that watched the Comac Day video, that's a video I produced. So it's got well into the 100,000 views on Facebook, and you'll hear me do the video. James, that was some of the old footage James shot from years prior. I edited it all, put it all together, put a little voiceover to it, and it's just showing people what's going to go on at the JCC in Comac this Sunday. And to get all those details, you can head over to comacday.com. So if you want to go check out a cool event this weekend, I'll be there. My charter company will be there. And I'm going to be giving away a free fishing charter, a half day, a 4-hour fishing charter. I'm going to raffle it off. So if you're there and you want to enter in, we're going to have a Yeti on the table there, and just enter. You'll fill out the form, you drop it in the Yeti, and hopefully you win. You'll be out here on my boat fishing with me in no time. It's good for 365 days. So if you wanted to fish the end of this year, you get to do that. Or if you want to come out in the spring with us or save it for the summer, it'll be good for the next year. So that's going to be this Sunday at the JCC in Comac. It's called Comac Day. You can check out comacday.com. And I see now some of the boats are getting moved out of the marina. So there's some shrink wrap boats in the parking lot. It's happening, you know. So the guys that are, got bow riders, I totally understand. We're still in for some good weather. Even though this has been 3 weeks of relentless northeast, we're still going to have some 75, 78-degree days. I don't know about 78, but probably mid-70s. The water temperature back here right now, you can probably see it on the screen behind me. I think it's 68. We were seeing a consistent 70 out there. I was in 60 feet of water, I want to say, on Friday. And the water temperatures are dropping. But again, still warm. You put your hands in the water to wash your hands off, and 70-degree water is not, it's still nice. So the water temperature is still good. We need it to drop a little more. These cooler nights will come in. But I do see some of the boats are getting hauled out. They're getting winterized. They're getting wrapped. And they're getting put away for the 2024 season coming to a close for them. But for the rest of us, and especially the fishermen, I mean, these empty slips that happen now, you're going to get guys that come in as transients from other areas that want to come in now, get a transient slip here in my area and fish this area, because soon you're going to have the squid here in the harbor. The bass are going to come in feeding on the squid. So you got the blackfish happening in just, another 11 days. And again, there's wind. And speaking of the blackfish, and we went in on Friday, we were like, hey, can we get some green crabs? And, the tackle shops in the area have just taken a beating with these. They are going on 3 weeks now with the northeast wind. So business is down. They're feeling it. And they get their green crabs. Usually this is the week when they come in. So everybody stocks up now. So I'll have my live pen filled up with the green crabs this week, and we'll be out there prospecting. This is a real fun time of the year. I mean, it's addicting if you know what I'm talking about, if you've never done it before. Something you want to learn. You're going to have to practice it. It's not just something everybody can go out there and be good at catching blackfish. It's not like the blues where we're jigging them and you're going to get hit just cranking it up and, reeling it in fast, or, certain speeds will tell you to slow down and, what the bite's doing. But with blackfish, there's technique and, your rod and, all the little things that matter, and how you put the green crab on and all that fun stuff. So it's an addicting time of the year for people that know what I'm talking about and do like to do it. And we're going to have some of the funniest episodes from things that have happened on the boat from blackfishing. And, just dealing with the green crab and dealing with the bait and the things that we do. There have been some funny episodes. Not to say that we haven't had funny episodes on the boat with things people have done with the striped bass and the bluefish on charters. Not stuff that me and my mate do. It's, guests. They come on the boat and the crazy things that happen, the antics. And we'll get into those fun stories. But with the boating season coming to a close for the bow riders and the guys that aren't going to be out there fishing. It really ramps up for the guys that are going to go out fishing now. This is it. The good weather's coming, guys. Don't let these 2.5, 3 weeks discourage you. Right now, there's a window to get out there. You got a window right now today. I'm telling you, these winds are shifting. And Thursday or Friday this week, it's really going to change up. So we're going to be out there Thursday. We're going to be out there Friday. We got Saturday and Sunday. I'll be at Comac Day. So the charters this week, finally the winds are going to shift. And we're excited that even Friday that we were out this last Friday, we were able to find them stacked up. So when you see the video, you'll see exactly what I mean when a sonar looks like a Christmas tree from the bottom to the top. It was just fish as far as the eye could see. And you have to follow them around. So they move. They're not just sitting under your boat. You catch 4, 5, 6 of them, and you may have to, get in gear and move. And the birds are putting you on them and follow the birds. And that's what we love about this time of the year. It's a lot of fun. And what else in the boating industry? The winterization's happening, so guys are, shrink wrapping, buying the antifreeze in the stores locally. I see the stuff is out. I'm not going to talk about the Christmas supplies that are out. It's almost Halloween. So you know how the stores act, guys. They're already trying to sell you the Christmas stuff, and it's not even October yet. We're still in September. So this week marks off the kickoff of October, and the blackfish season will begin, so that's exciting. Guys, around the surf, you got the Mullet run happening. So the Mullet run is really the inaugural. It's like the kickoff to the fall run. So once that happens, once they all leave the back bay and they hit the shoreline and the Mullet run really starts, that's when the fall run, that's like the kickoff. So it's going down. It's happening. This is a very exciting time of the year. So if you want to get out there and do some fishing, now is the best time of the year to get out. And all our previous customers are texting me and saying, hey, we want to get out, squeeze us in. The weekdays are the best. You want to get out there for a full day and really put in your time on the tides and go for some different species and go for the false albacore and go for the albies, the Spanish max, the bonito, and obviously the blues and the stripers. The blackfish are going to be a ton of fun. So we're ramping up. It is far from over for us. This is the time of the year that we love. I'm down here and, not wearing any sweatshirts. It's a beautiful day, a little cloudy, but big deal. Wind 8 mile an hour, 14 mile an hour gusts. And you can see the flags. They're blowing, but they're not going crazy. No real stiff wind today. So, but I tell you, once you turn that corner out there, you'll see what I mean as far as the conditions change. So don't judge what's going on in the harbor of how it's going to be out there. You could get fooled. So the only way to find out what it's doing out there is to get on your boat and go, and or ask somebody or check the buoys, the weather buoys that are out there. That's always a good idea too, guys. They do have accurate information, and the intel is, you'll know when it's gusting out there. You don't even have to go out there. Or you could drive to the shoreline and take a look out yourself and see what it's doing. There were no whitecaps on Friday, so it was rough out there. But, again, no whitecaps like previous days out there. I mean, it was insane on Sunday. There were nice whitecaps rolling out there. And it's days like that, unless you got a big boat, you're staying inshore. You're going to stay in the back bays and fish the bay. So that pretty much touches all the current events locally, what's happening. And, again, our heartfelt prayers to everybody down south dealing with Hurricane Helene. So if you guys want to donate to the igfa.org/wharf, and that's the World Anglers Relief Fund. That'll be a great thing for you to do, just to give you a little recap there. And you can follow us on social media. I'm really starting to build up my Facebook page. It's something I never did because, I was posting pictures of the kids and always doing something with the kids and posting that stuff. Well, I switched it up. This was the year I said, you know what? I have the Sand City Charter page, and I'm also going to do the Captain Gaige. So I got the Gaige Simon page. If you want a Facebook and friend request, I've been building that up. So since I said I'm building it up, we got over 200 friend requests, and I do check out the profiles and look at people before I accept everything. I just don't accept everything that comes my way because there are a lot of fake pages out there, and it's easy to see which ones aren't being used and haven't posted. And So that's my social media thing. I build a website up, sandcitycharter.com. I'm trying to update that every day and do some different stuff, putting up blogs and pictures and videos, and starting to do video shorts on YouTube. So we're going to put up a lot of 60-second shorts. I got so much footage and great fishing footage that's worth taking a look at, having fun. Pass it on. Let people see the lures we were using. You want to check it out in the videos. We try not to do too much spot burning and show you where we are for a lot of reasons, not just because you don't want to come fish my spot. It's just certain areas that I'm in. We just don't want to overpopulate the place and ruin a fishery and let everybody know that's where the fish are. So, in the backgrounds when we take pictures, we're not trying to show you buildings and different stuff in there. We're trying to be a little protective of where we go and what we do, and for good reason, And I'm sure you do the same in your area. And I love the guys that scribble the black in the background of the picture so you can see them holding the fish, but you can't see what bay they're in and what beach they're on. And I think that's pretty funny. But if you guys want to check out sandcitycharter.com or any of the social media feeds, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, we are current posting stuff up there every day. But again, Sand City Charter is pretty much the main page where I do everything. So you catch the podcast there. Any new videos that we post, they're going to be there first, even before they get to the social media channels. So if you want to sneak peek at stuff, sandcitycharter.com is the way to go. We just printed up some new shirts. Oh, and I got to thank George. I mean, one of the guys in the marina here comes down one day and he hands me a box. He hands me a box of Sand City shirts with, name and phone number and website on the back, and, all very professionally done. Obviously, this is the line of work that he's in. And I got to thank George and Teddy. Teddy, he's down here with his friends a lot going out, and, we'll share some intel. And it's another great thing is being friends with a lot of different people, having eyes and ears everywhere. And I'm always constantly communicating with a lot of the captains that are out there right now. I'm getting intel on what's happening right now. When I'm out there on Friday, I'm talking to the guys, and I'm pulling up to next to the boats, my friends that are out there fishing, and we're all bullshitting for a little bit and catching up, and good to see them out there. And that's how we stay on top of things here. We're all working together to catch fish. It's not exactly the easiest thing. In fact, one of the captains had sent me over a video, and it's a great video. And basically, it talks about the whole premise of the video is, our relentless pursuit for going out there, for the unknown of we don't know what is out there. That's what draws us to it, and that's what brings us out there is we don't know what we're going to catch. We don't know what's there. We don't know if anything's there. And we continue to go out there and try to catch stuff. And for me, it's the inner child, hooking up with the fish. It's a ton of fun. They say the tug is the drug, but it is that pursuit of going out there and not knowing whether today is going to be that epic day or is today the day you fail and you catch nothing. So you're kind of prepared for both mentally when you leave the dock. You're hoping that it's going to be an epic day, but at the end of the day, if you got skunked, you're saying to yourself, hey, this happens. It's part of fishing. And everybody on the boat, when you talk about it, when it takes 2 hours to get out there and catch fish, it's 20 minutes for us to get to the fishing grounds. But in, 2 hours of fishing and there's not much happening, you kind of say to yourself, wow, is today the day that we get skunked? And, the guys on board, they're all fishermen. They're coming on. They're not novices that haven't done this before. They're coming on a private charter because they want to go out and catch fish. And even they get on the boat and say, yeah, that's why it's called fishing and not catching. And, I understand that phrase, but as a captain, it's, your job to they're paying you to push on fish. And that is the pressure. And, the pursuit that we go out there and chase them around and look for the fish. So that's what we love. That's the love of it. That's the passion for me. So we love doing it. And me and my mate, Corey, we're a dynamic duo. I don't have to tell him what to do. He knows what to do. He knows what I'm thinking. I don't even have to tell him. So that's what's great about being out there and having a team, knowing what you're doing. And that's what makes us good. That's what makes it fun for us. And I'm only telling you what people tell us and what they post online and what they say about us. So we're going to keep that up. We're going to keep building, keep knocking them down, keep catching them. And hopefully you guys are going to keep listening because every week we're going to put out a podcast and have some fun. And next week's guest, I'm not even going to tell you to get you excited yet. I'm just going to say you don't want to miss it. It's going to be an epic episode. And stay tuned in. I really appreciate you guys listening. download the episodes. You can subscribe to the RSS feed. And again, check us out at sandcitycharter.com. I am your host, Captain Gaige, signing off, wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.